Greetings, muffin lovers and rogue snackers, and welcome back to my kitchen, where the blueberries are plump, the crumble is loud, and the only thing we take seriously is butter. Today we are making the ultimate blueberry muffins. They're soft, fluffy, and packed with berries and topped with a cinnamon, buttery crumble that honestly deserves its own fan club. It's like a muffin and coffee cake fell in love and had a golden crumbly baby. And yes, you will want to eat 6. This recipe is easy, cozy, and makes your kitchen smell like grandma's house. If grandma was a part-time pastry chef with zero chill. Grab a bowl, some berries, and your deepest muffin cravings, and let's bake some joy. So to start this amazing blueberry recipe, you're gonna wanna get a large bowl to mix all your dry ingredients. Add 1.5 cups of flour, 3/4 cups of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now you're gonna wanna whisk all your dry ingredients until well combined. Now that all of your dry ingredients are well combined, you're just gonna wanna set these off to the side. Now it is time to get out a medium-sized bowl, as it is time to start mixing all of our wet ingredients. Add 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 1/3 cup of milk, 1 egg. Now that you got all of your wet ingredients in the bowl, you're gonna wanna give this a nice good whisk until everything is well combined. Once you get all of your wet ingredients well combined, you're gonna wanna go ahead and pull out your dry ingredients and slowly add your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients. Now you're gonna wanna give this a nice good mix, making sure all of your wet ingredients are well combined with your dry ingredients. Once all of your dry and wet ingredients are all well combined, you should have something that kind of resembles this. It's not really like a batter, more kind of like a dough, but not really a dough either. The consistency of it is, it's kind of thick, but kind of thin, if that makes sense. It should look like something like this when it's all well combined. Now you're gonna wanna take 1 cup of fresh, washed blueberries and add them to your batter. Once you get all of your blueberries added to your muffin batter, you're gonna wanna go ahead and gently, very gently, fold them into the batter. Now that you got your blueberries all folded into your muffin batter, you're gonna wanna go ahead and set your batter off to the side. Get out a small bowl. It is now time to start making the crumble topping. 1/2 cup of white sugar, 1/3 cup of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 1/4 cup of cubed cold cut butter. Now with either a pastry cutter or a fork, whichever you have, you're gonna wanna go ahead and cut this butter into your flour, sugar, cinnamon mixture. And you're gonna wanna cut the butter in there until it kind of resembles a crumble topping. Once you've cut all of your butter into your crumble topping, you should have something that looks like this. Perfect crumble topping. And let me tell you guys, If there was such thing as smell vision, I wish you could just smell the topping alone. It just smells so cinnamony, sugary. It is so deliciously smelling. Now here comes the fun and exciting part. You're gonna wanna get out a cupcake tin, lightly greased. You're gonna wanna start filling up your cupcake tins about 3/4 of the way with your muffin batter. Once you get all of your muffin tins about 3/4 of the way full with your muffin batter, I was short one, but that's okay. You should have about 12 of these muffins. They look perfect. It looks like I have a good balance of the batter and the blueberries. Now we need to add the crumble topping. Now for the crumble topping, you're gonna wanna just keep adding your topping to the tops of your blueberry muffin batter. And you're gonna just kind of want to distribute this out evenly across all of your muffins until all of your crumble topping is gone. It's probably about a spoonful or so a top. Okay, once you get all of your crumble topping evenly distributed across all of your muffins, here's a little trick that I have learned to kind of help during the baking process. If you kind of just take the back of your spoon here and lightly push down on that topping crumble into your muffin batter, it tends to stay on the muffins a little bit better during the baking process, so all the crumble topping won't be spread across the whole muffin pan. Also too, it also makes it help it stick to those muffins really good, so you get that crumble topping on there when you take that first bite. So I just like to lightly push down, just slightly, just ever so slightly on top of these muffins. You're gonna wanna bake these at 400 for 20 minutes. You know what's wild is muffins have been around for centuries. Before Instagram, before sliced bread, or even before we knew what gluten was for, muffins were already out here being little breakfast icons. The word muffin likely comes from the German word muffin, meaning small cakes. And honestly, accurate. In 18th century England, there were actual muffin men. Yes, just like the nursery rhyme. These guys would stroll the streets with trays of hot muffins on their heads, ringing a bell saying, "Come get your hot carbs, peasants." Okay, not in those words, but same energy. Then the muffins made their way to America and boom, the muffin evolution began. Thanks to baking powder, they stopped being flat little pucks and started rising like glorious dome-crowned breakfast royalty. Somewhere in the mid-1900s, blueberries entered the chat and it was a game changer. Sweet, juicy, and slightly tart, chef's kiss. And as if blueberry muffins weren't perfect already, someone one day said, "Hey, what if we put a buttery cinnamon crumble on top?" That person deserves a statue, or at least a muffin named after them. And there you have it, a blueberry with a crumble topping that could end a bad day and possibly a toxic relationship. These are warm, sweet, crumbly, and honestly, a little dangerous. Like, you don't want to be alone with them. You will black out and eat 4. If you liked baking these with me today, be sure to hit that thumbs up so the algorithm knows that we made something beautiful together. And subscribe if you believe muffins should always be legally required to have toppings. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen today. Go forth and crumble responsibly. I'll see you on the next one.